Welcome to The Road Reflected with Nicole Wakeland. Automotive from the lighter side. That means cars, but also cookies, coffee, and pie. Up first, what's Nicole behind the wheel of this week?
Hey everyone, we're back.
Yes.
We took a little break for Christmas.
It was Christmas season.
So we took a little break for Christmas.
It was tough because both our Sundays were Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve.
I know, because this Sunday we are recording, but this Sunday is
New Year's Eve.
Right this minute.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
2024. Woo.
Throw some confetti.
Yeah.
But like Christmas Eve, we were busy the whole of Christmas
We
Eve.
were.
And it was Christmas. So, but New Year's Eve, we're like, let's bring it back New Year's Eve. So we just decided to take Christmas off. So I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas.
Yeah, I hope so. I got lots of cool things. I was very pleased with my Christmas.
So did I. I got lots of cool stuff. And now we're back. Happy New Year.
Yeah, I'm ready for the new year. I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
You're ready to go.
I'm kind of, we've been a lot of activity going on, and it's just like you get into the holidays and it breaks up all your normal. I'm kind of ready for normalcy.
It has been really busy, so I'm kind of ready for normal. And but I mind my like time off, my break. The busy was all personal. It wasn't work stuff. But now I go right back into it because I think January 4th, they announced the North American Car, Truck, and Utility of the Year awards, and I have to go to Detroit to announce one of those.
You're going, so next week you're out.
I have to get on the stage and be like, and the winner is, and open the envelope.
Open an envelope.
And we don't know.
Can you share with listeners the early winner?
Well, I don't know it.
Oh,
we don't know until
like the Oscars. You don't know until
we don't know until we open the envelope. That's cool. So you do not know until you open the envelope.
You don't even have to feign surprise.
I do not have to feign surprise. I'm genuinely like, ooh, that's who won. Although sometimes I feel like I'm like, I bet it's this one. And if it's the one I think it is,
do you think it's the car you just had?
I think the car that I still have,
yes,
could be
a nominee.
So it's in the finalist. It's in the final three. Yeah. So most definitely it's a finalist. Okay. So what I'm driving right now and drove through the holiday season was the Honda Accord. I have the Honda Accord Hybrid.
Kind of a classic. I mean, the Honda Accord's like a staple sedan.
The Accord has kind of been around for a long while.
It was like the number one sedan for a long time. Is that still a thing?
No, it's not the Accord. I want to say it's the Camry.
Oh, the Camry.
I believe it's I think it's a Camry. Oh gosh,
I thought the Accord had.
But I think it's right up there. The Accord is like it's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
And they redid it. Now I drove the Accord back, the hybrid even back this summer. They invited me to a cool thing in. It's spelled like Accord, but they pronounce it Ackerd, New York.
Who does?
The city.
Oh.
Ackerd, New York.
Oh, Ackerd, New York is not Accord.
Ackerd, New York says Ackerd. They do. But it's spelled like Accord. So I drove it all the way from New Hampshire to New York. I think it was like 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So I had it for a long road trip. So now I have it for the holiday. We get a long loan during the holiday season because a lot of the companies take a break. Mine is super long. For some reason, I have this for 3 weeks.
Oh, there's worse cars to be stuck in than an Accord, though.
There's definitely, I don't mind being like, it would stink if I had a car for 3 weeks and I thought, oh, this is terrible.
Right.
But I like the Honda Accord. I like this when I drove it in the summer, and I still like it right now. Yeah. I think it's really good. So it's a great, comfy sedan. It had, I have to be honest though, mine had a little trouble.
There was a bit of a battery issue.
It had a hiccup. So it didn't want to start, and we had to have it towed to the dealership, and the dealership just replaced the battery.
These things happen.
Things happen, right? You get a bad battery. They replaced it, and they did some it's funny, and this isn't a knock against Honda or anybody else, but I feel like you never bring something in the dealership. They're not like, well, we also fixed that recall for you.
Right, exactly. Well, it's all tuned up, ready to go.
So it is now totally ready to go. It is 100% rare and ready to go. But the funniest thing, so I go into the dealership, and the complication of having a car that's not actually your car.
Right.
It's like, okay, so my name's Nicole Wakeland, and the company that manages the car is Automotion, but who owns it? Honda. Right. And she's like, I'm picking up a car. Who is it for? I said, well, I think it's under my name, Nicole Wakeland. It could be under Automotion. And she looks at me with this total Valley Girl thing, I don't have a car under those names. I'm thinking, well, you do.
Well, how many Honda Accords are currently being repaired?
And I said, okay. I said, because it could be my name or it could be them. And I said, because they're the company that loaned the car to me, and it could be considered the fleet name is on it. It could say, she's like, no. And she's sitting she's waiting for me to walk away. I'm like, it's not like I had a T-shirt on
there's a
layaway.
Car here, right?
There's a car, a whole car.
I'm expected to drive
your
home.
Dealership, right? The whole car is here. And she's like, well, okay. And I said, she's like, could it be under her name? And I said, no. I said, unless you pull the name from the registration, it will say Honda. And she's like, what do you mean Honda? I'm like
the company you work for.
Honda. And she looks again, she goes we would need the name that the car is registered to. I'm like, Honda. She couldn't grasp it. And I'm like, I'm not trying to be like, I'm like, it's a loan.
Who's on first?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. And she's looking at me and she turns around to the person who's like in the little swivel chair next to her. And she's like, I want to say Sally, and it's probably not Sally. Sally. So she says she has a car here and we don't have a car. And it's under this name, that name. And she can't find it. And then a guy literally walks from the back, like one of the techs. And he tosses 2 sets of keys and 2 like work orders on the thing. And I looked down, I'm like, that one right there that says Nicole Wakeland Automotion Honda. That one's me.
You gave her all those names,
I gave her all the names. So I'm thinking it should have been.
So the guy figured it out. He's overhearing this going,
I don't know if
God.
the guy overheard. He's like, it's right here. And I'm like, and she's like, okay. She was the snarkiest. It makes you hate
Why is there a Valley Girl in New Hampshire?
I don't know, but she had this total like, no, I don't have your car, lady. You're crazy. I'm thinking, what do people often show?
Your name was on there
for a car that's not theirs?
Wakeland, but it also says something else. So she was like, no, it can't be.
I gave her all the names, but then she just like tosses.
Did the guy say anything?
The guy didn't say anything. He had just kind of put it on her desk. I think he had 2. So I kind of
was just doing his
I think
job.
the guy was just like, time to give these to the snarky receptionist. So and it was just good timing because I looked down and saw it. But then she's like, you're gonna have to sign for it and pay whatever's due. I'm like, I don't think there's anything to. I'll have to check. Like, okay, there's not, but okay.
Okay, it's owned again by Honda.
Yeah, exactly. So she's like, no, there's nothing due, and she just puts the key in the counter and swivels away. And I'm like, I'm in a dealership I've never been into before. Mm-hmm. There are 9 million cars in the lot behind me. I have no idea, and I'm like, so where am I going to pick this up? And she practically rolls her eyes. She's like, outside. I'm like, is it? You've seen the lot at Peter's Honda.
Is anybody else hearing this nonsense?
Peter's Honda is huge, right?
Huge. It's
and I'm like, what? Can you kind of point me in the right direction? And she's like, along the side of the building. Like, I should know this. Right. And I'm thinking, thank you very much. And I literally am walking out in the lot, and there's a whole bunch of cars.
Button.
And I'm literally
there's like a ton of Honda Accords at a dealership.
It's not like you can look for the Honda Accord, right? So I'm going like click, 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 click. And I'm like, wait, beep, beep. I'm like, I can see. And I finally found it. It was the weirdest thing. And this is why people hate dealerships.
Yes. Yes.
So, which is not a knock against Honda. It's a knock against dealerships getting people who aren't snarky.
That is weird.
So it was kind of weird, but it was kind of amusement. I would be less amused, honestly, if it was my own personal car and I walked in and she's like, I don't have a car for you. I would have lost my mind.
Doesn't really want to make you work at that dealership or do things at that
It does not make me want to go to that particular
cool.
dealership.
It's funny
there is another one in town. I could have gone the other direction. If I had to ever do this again, probably won't.
I will say at the Dodge Chrysler place I go to all the time, they're great.
Yeah, the Dodge place you go to is really good.
Yeah,
Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. Dodge,
yeah,
Chrysler,
all
Jeep,
the
Ram.
names.
All the
But they're great.
Stellantises.
They have like the drive-through drop-off now, which is pretty slick. So
do these guys. They have the drive-through
like
drop-off.
almost in most
but
places.
apparently the pickup is like fend for yourself in the corner lot.
Right. I mean, I could get this. She's a little confused, but I feel like at one point she's going to realize, oh my God, this is a fleet-owned vehicle. This woman must be with the press or something.
Well, no,
maybe I'll just be polite.
I didn't expect special. I just expected the car.
just like, no, I didn't mean because special treatment, just like, understand why it's confusing and figure it out.
She was having none of it. There was no, oh, I'm so sorry. Here it is. I got you.
She was your Grinch in the Christmas season.
Maybe she got cold the day. It was the day after Christmas. It was the 26th.
Maybe she wasn't happy working that day.
Maybe she got cold. Maybe she thought something good was going to happen.
Her.
Krampus. Do you guys know who Krampus is? Google Krampus. It's a scary thing.
There's like, in Europe, there's like Krampus Day. There's like whole Krampus parades. And it's like Demon Goat Man.
He's really scary.
And he's a mess around. Krampus
maybe Krampus. I feel like maybe she didn't get what she expected.
But I think it's brilliant
holiday.
because it keeps kids honest. Like
I know,
in America, like if you better watch out.
Keeps me honest.
You better watch out, or you might not get as many or as voluminous presents as you want.
The rule is the actual rule. Is that if you're not good, you get coal. Period. The end.
Coal versus Demon Goat Man showing up.
Right?
I mean, it's just not even the same league.
Coal is a bummer. And Demon Goat is terrifying.
Not only do you get coal, you get switches, sticks in your stocking that are meant for your parents to beat you with. Yes. Like they don't mess around.
Europe is not cutting
They do not mess around. You need to be good.
Well, maybe Krampus came to visit because she was not good, but the car was good. Once I got it back, I was sad I didn't have it for those few days, but the car was actually quite good. I really like the car, and it's like it gets great fuel economy. I haven't put gas in it yet. It gets 46 city, 41
Well,
highway.
it's a hybrid, but that's great.
Right? So I haven't put any gas into it yet. It's been driving great. It's been fine. Other than that hiccup with whatever went wrong with the battery. It's been fantastic. It's got plenty of pep. It's great for the family. It's been
What's funny? The style of it's so nice. When I first glanced at it, I thought it might have been a Honda Civic.
Oh, because it's kind of sporty.
Because there's kind of sporty and stylish. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, you got a Civic, but it's a little big for a Civic. And then I was like, but it's still stylish. It had nice lines for an Accord because For a while, the Accords looked very sort of
sedan.
It's classic. Well, they know their market. It's like classic sedan.
Right.
But this has got some
Well, they made
lines.
an effort, and like all the OEMs did it. Honda did it with the Accord. Toyota did it with the Camry. In fact, for a little while, the Camry was so aggressively sporty, you kind of had that like, whoa, Camry.
Right.
Take it down a notch.
It's got some fun colors. It's got cool wheels.
This was called Radiant Red.
Ooh.
So it was very seasonally appropriate in the Radiant Red.
Yeah.
And it has these beautiful black alloy, kind of like a matte finish wheel, I guess, black, which looks great. But the problem with that is if you ever manage to curb clip, you do that when you have like a silver or chrome like wheels or gray wheels, you kind of see it. If you have black wheels and you clip a curb, good gravy. It looks terrible.
Yeah, right.
Which someone had clipped a curb in one of these, not me, Honda. It came that way. And I thought, oh, these beautiful wheels, and look what someone did.
That's a shame.
But it's fun. So I do like this.
That's
and
cool
it starts it's $32,000 is about the starting
That's not
price.
bad.
Not as fancy as that's like a notch down, I think, from with the one we have. So this one looks a little prettier, I think. But $32,000, that's not bad for a really fun, attractive hybrid sedan that could be the 2024 North American Car of the Year. Who knows? Okay, everyone, if you like what you're hearing, then go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe either on YouTube or your favorite podcatcher.
Yeah, and leave those positive reviews on iTunes, but only positive reviews.
Yes.
If you have negative reviews, keep those to yourself.
Or
That's what your
Krampus will
mom
come
said.
for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't incite Krampus.
Krampus is like, that's mean.
Krampus will get you with the switch.
I'm telling you guys, Google Krampus if you don't
Watch
know
the
what
parades
this
on
is.
YouTube. He is freaky.
He's scary. And they have some where it's a bunch of Krampuses.
Krampi. Yeah, you got to flee them. Like they actually try to get you.
They try to get you.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, it's not.
They're
Don't be a
terrible.
Krampus.
So one of the things about the holidays, aside from being run over or chased after by a Krampus if you're a bad kid, is that it means that you're ferrying family members over hill and dale.
Yes, there's a lot of transportation going on.
And you have a car full of people. It's not just that moment where you're peacefully driving by yourself. It's like you and your spouse and kids, whether they're grown or not, and boyfriends and girlfriends and aunts and uncles and mothers. So you always have a car full of people.
Yes.
We ferried a bunch of people in the Accord Hybrid, and it was fantastic. In fact, we went to the airport. We did an airport run to pick some folks up in the Accord Hybrid, and it was great. Nice and roomy, easily holds luggage. You can put
big trunk.
Yeah, it has a nice spacious trunk. I didn't pull down the size on that, but it is one of the more.
But all the luggage loaded easily.
But it is and I can't remember the number. I've totally forgotten. But for a hybrid sedan, it's one of the higher volume trunks in the class.
Cool, yeah.
So you have a nice roomy trunk, and it really is. You can fit large luggage back there, which is good. You can cram it full of a lot of Christmas presents, which we also did.
Yes.
But you end up having this like mishmash of cars when you're driving at the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
Because especially once your kids get to be old enough to be driving kind of on their own, and we have
got the
college
kids' cars,
kids.
you got your cars.
Yeah. So
people
have
visiting have their cars.
Right. And you're trying to go place. You're like, well, which car do we take? Well, we'll take this car. We'll take that car. Oh, wait, we need to carry this big thing. So we're going to take this other car. So we drove our Charger around a little bit. I have a 2010 Charger, which is super dated now.
Yeah.
But I still love my goes fast in a straight line car. It's really fun.
There's nothing wrong with a muscle car.
Roomy as heck. Like you could.
It really is.
It
the
really
trunk
is. And the thing is,
they don't make
huge.
them like that anymore. Honestly.
No, and
literally, they don't make them like
yeah.
that anymore.
So there's plenty of room in that. But we also we have a gingerbread house that we make every year.
Yes.
That yet again required us to change vehicles because the gingerbread house is
it's a big
tall.
square.
It's like
yeah. So for those of you listening,
2 feet tall.
So we have a family tradition. I was going to jump in on this for a second.
Okay.
We have a family tradition that started with my parents.
It's a Wakeland thing.
It was my mom and dad started this. And because we were stationed in Germany, Army brat, we got into gingerbread houses. And my dad and mom decided that they were going to start making a gingerbread house every year, and we would decorate it. My brother, myself, and my cousin at that time. And my dad, being ambitious and in the, being sort of a mechanic and into, making things, and my mom being a crazy baker, they made these templates, which we still have to this day, for making a gingerbread house. And this is not a small gingerbread house. This thing has got to be like 8 inches high, something like that.
No, it's more than that.
10 inches high, 12, a foot high.
It's more than a foot high.
It's over a foot tall house of all proportions. So think of a cottage shaped structure.
Giant rectangle.
Complete with a chimney you can also cut out and make. And we've got the patterns.
I used up like a dozen eggs and $5,000 worth of Karo syrup.
Over the years, and it's been passed down now to my wife and my sister-in-law. You guys alternate making this giant thing.
Because it's a huge thing to make. So
it's a lot of work.
So we had to make it. Now, normally whoever makes it keeps it at their house, and the family
and then at
shows
some point
up.
between Thanksgiving and Christmas, all the kids show up and we decorate the house.
And it's crazy because we use all this random candy.
Our kids have gotten on to theming decorations, and they're pretty morbid nowadays.
It's not like this attractive, elegant little gonna win a prize. It's like, oh, this year we pretended that zombies invaded, and the gingerbread
this year
men are all crazy.
The little Teddy Graham bears are being destroyed by the little gummy bears or whatever.
Yeah.
There's various things that happen.
So we had a complication this year that required us to transport this giant house, not yet decorated. And the one spot where the Honda Accord failed, I'm like, this is not going to fit in the Accord.
Because it's a giant square. And so we needed a giant square vehicle. And fortunately, the Jeep Wrangler came to the rescue.
The Jeep is very square.
It's very square. And so you could sit someone in that back bench seat, hand them the gingerbread house on their lap, this giant thing on this huge board, slide the passenger seat as far forward as it goes. And voila, you can transfer
our
gingerbread
Jeep
house.
Wrangler was gingerbread transport, so we had to switch to that one to get the gingerbread house out. But then we couldn't get everybody in the car because the gingerbread house is so wide. Like the trays is so like, well, you guys have to take
Plus
the charger.
They had to bring their own presents because we're doing present swaps and everything else. And we couldn't just put the gingerbread house in the trunk. So afraid to bounce around too much and fall over.
You have
someone
to
had to hold and
steady.
kind of cushion it.
Because it is still gingerbread and royal icing that you were praying doesn't fall apart.
Inches of royal icing holding.
I want to try and say the Jeep Wrangler's ride was so smooth. No, I can't get over. I can't claim the ride in that car is smooth.
But gingerbread house did not fall over.
It did not fall over, even in the Wrangler.
Yeah.
Which I don't know is a testament to the Wrangler's smoothness or my gingerbread house building skills.
Probably a combination of both. But I will say the boxy shape of the Wrangler definitely was essential.
So Honda Accord Hybrid, great car, not for transporting gingerbread houses. Jeep Wrangler,
large
fabulous.
boxy. Well, it's a Jeep Wrangler. Any large boxy cargo is going to go better in a Wrangler.
Yes, it needed something that really had a lot of space.
You needed that,
tall roof.
and it delivered.
It did. So we managed to get everything up. So we were in the Wrangler for a little bit. We were in the Charger for a little bit. We were in the Honda Accord Hybrid for a little bit. So it was a mishmash of cars. But
we had to take the Charger because the kids can't drive the press car, obviously. So now but our kids grew up on this Charger because it's been Nicole's daily driver forever.
Yes, it's a 2010.
So the kids know the Charger well.
It's almost
there's a few scratches and dents thanks to the kids learning that vehicle. I have one child who claims that the reason there's a dent by the passenger side fender, by the light, is that someone backed into her. Yeah,
which in the
that
high school parking lot, that's not unheard of.
That's what kids always claim.
I know.
Because that's an easy way out. You just say, oh yeah, someone backed into me.
This is from the child who once backed said car into the garage door because she thought
there's a dent in our garage door because of that,
And there's a nice big scratch on the back of the Charger because of that.
It was a kid learning on a 2010 vehicle, which is fine.
Yes. So she scratched at least. I wasn't heartbroken because the thing was already
But the thing's
old.
indestructible. It's a freaking Charger. It's great.
It is.
It's perfect
and I
for
love driving it. It was very fun, except it was so bizarre to have to be in a car that I don't drive it. Normally I drive it here and there on occasion. I drove it a lot. And to drive a car a lot that is from 2010, suddenly you realize just how different cars are. So many advancements. And it's not like a power thing or anything, but just you're like, oh my gosh, my infotainment screen is the size of a postage stamp. And really the infotainment is, here's your radio station.
Right. And now you're like, oh, I got to plug in my phone.
An aux jack thing to try and
instead of there's no
music.
Bluetooth. There's no Bluetooth built into the stereo. I mean, we could replace the stereo with an aftermarket thing, but at this point,
not doing that.
Doesn't make any sense. Actually, I did get a cigarette lighter Bluetooth.
We do have a Bluetooth adapter thing, but I never use it.
But the kids fiddle with it, but it's more.
Yeah, they have it. It's in there, and they use it when they're driving the car, but. Yeah, so we have a Kia Rio is my daughter's car, is 16, and that feels advanced tech-wise, not power-wise, but tech-wise, it's like this a giant step up. I'm like, but poor little 2010 Charger.
But the thing's still going great.
It's still going.
It still gets you from point A to point B, and it's like 14 years old now.
It still does the job of hauling the family and Christmas presents.
That is a quality vehicle right there,
and that's all I need, right? Yeah. That's all I needed to do. Hey, wait, did we just drive by a bakery? Okay, so here's the thing. So today, this week, in between Christmas and New Year's, when everyone goes back, let's say January 2nd is when the world starts back up.
That's when people start really going
because
back.
Everybody does New Year's. New Year's is not nation or religion specific. New Year's is New Year's.
We all do
sort of
New Year's,
the calendar, right?
Party on.
So there's this meme that goes around, and it's and it has it's Christmas, joyous time, the 27th to the 2nd. I'm tired, I'm full of cheese, and I don't know what day of the week it is.
That's where we are right now.
And I feel like we're firmly in tired, full of cheese, and don't know the day of the week.
I do know it's New Year's Eve now, but yesterday I wouldn't have been able to tell you what day it was. And I'm still not entirely sure what day of the week it is.
It is...
See?
Shoot, it's Sunday.
Okay.
It's Sunday?
It's Sunday because we're recording. That's the only reason I know it's Sunday. We're recording.
And I recorded wheel bearings today, and that's on Sunday.
Aha. So it is podcast day. That's why it's Sunday. But if we were podcasting right now, you would not know what day it was.
I would not know what day it was.
And we are full of cheese.
Yes, because we got cheese fondue. We got a fondue pot, fancy fondue pot.
Nicole gave me a lovely fondue pot for Christmas, which was compelled me to make fondue from scratch. None of those little like pre-made fondue packet things. No, we went out, we got wine, we got 3 different kinds of cheese. I spent what felt like an hour and a half shredding this cheese by hand because we don't have a food processor.
So I just need to, there's a theme right now with when Russ is going to prep something, quote, real quick for me in the kitchen the last couple of days.
Yeah, I've not been, I do love to cook and I'm reasonably good at it, but I've been trying new dishes lately and they're taking a lot longer.
Okay,
than the prep time and cook time describes.
I should tell you, we started recording this with like 5:30, right?
Yeah.
We had lunch right before this.
Yeah, lunch is supposed to be ready at 2:30 or 3.
Because he was making the world's most complicated asparagus recipe.
I did. And then I was doing it on my Traeger, but I didn't check the pellet levels. And so the pellets went out on the Traeger. So I had to emergency switch to the oven. But of course, the oven takes 20 minutes to preheat. And then I was trying to do these asparagus fries. They're dredged in flour, then dredged in egg, then dredged in breadcrumbs and shredded mozzarella Parmesan. Then you roast them like a high temperature to get them like crispy, like a French fry, with all these cool things stuck to them. And then you dip them in a balsamic reduction with mayo as like a tangy dip. And they actually came out pretty good.
But the 15-minute asparagus took literally, people, it was hours. We're like, what happened to you?
The dumb thing about this plan for me was I'm cooking for 5, which isn't that many people, but this would probably be great for asparagus for 2, and you have like maybe like 5 stalks each or 6. But I'm doing like 30 asparagus stalks, not conducive to quick. You know, I'm doing like kitchen.
I can't like counters covered
line.
with all
There's a mess everywhere.
There's breadcrumbs. His fingers are completely coated in dredged. He's dredged.
But it counts
his
as
own
a cheese
fingers.
dish because there was Parmesan in there.
There was Parmesan on it.
There's Parmesan in the cheese in that, and then there was, of course, we did the fondue the other night.
We did the fondue,
which was delicious and took a lot of grating of cheese.
It was just, and the thing is, he'll tell us like, guys, just chill for 10 minutes.
I'll be ready in 10 minutes.
People fall asleep on the couch.
People are passing out.
Like out cold.
Nice rest,
They wake up. It's like, did I miss the food? Like, no, you did not.
No, you didn't. Go back to bed.
Go back to sleep. He's not done dredging his own fingers.
The fondue took a bit longer than I expected, but this was really long. This was way longer.
This was ridiculous.
Yeah, I got to work on that.
Forever.
I got to work on that.
Well,
the problem is doing new dishes for companies never smart. You should practice them
company.
first.
This is our kids
family,
and a daughter's
everybody's
boyfriend.
chilling.
So if it gets
not
messed
a big
up,
deal, but
it's not the end of the world.
If I had done it before, I would.
And you have more cheese products slated for later as we get closer to the ball drop.
We do, but these are easy. It's like port wine and French bread. That's easy.
So I wasn't even thinking of that. You also bought mozzarella sticks.
Oh yes. You made a request for mozzarella sticks, frozen, easy, throw them in the oven.
He says that now, but when the mozzarella sticks are ready for noon on New Year's Day.
Well, if I don't preheat the mozzarella sticks, that would be the problem.
See?
Yeah. You gotta be careful of that preheating thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of failed on that last time.
I did.
But hopefully you won't fail at it this time.
No, but I feel like we have had a lot of cheese. But part of it was we went on a little European vacation we talked about last episode. And we bought a lot of cheese.
So it seemed like when we were there, it was like, let's buy a bottle of wine here. Let's buy some cheese there. Let's buy a bottle of wine this other place. And so then we go to pack. I'm like, we have like a piece of luggage full of wine and cheese.
We also bookended in 2 cheese-producing nations.
Yes.
So we started in Switzerland, obviously known for their cheese. And then we ended in Amsterdam, which also, I think most people know this, Netherlands, like Gouda's like their jam. Like
Gouda's
they just do Gouda.
It's on the sign when you land.
It is. It's like Gouda. Well, you can literally buy it in the airport. It's like packaged in the airport. You can take it. We had all this cheese we came back with. It was like, is that legal? I'm like, they literally sell it in the airport. You can just buy it.
You just buy it in the airport.
Yeah. Pretty big wheels too.
So we had all this cheese so for Christmas Eve, we used some of it. We had the charcuterie thing and we used up all this cheese and then we did the fondue. We still have cheese in the fridge.
Oh yeah, we did.
Still have not quite
we had a
used
huge
it all.
charcuterie thing, which is just tons of cheese on Christmas Eve. Then on Friday, we did the huge fondue.
Yes.
And now tonight we have more traditional cheese.
And we made sandwiches with it. I mean, we've used
I made
for
grilled
everything.
cheeses. And I made, grilled cheese with all the Gouda. And the cheese, the one cheese we got from France too, that really tomato.
It was like, it was sort of pink. It was the craziest looking color.
And it wasn't Gouda though, it was something else. But
it was like, I don't know, but it had like tomato in it. And it was
so
really
we were
yummy.
literally full of cheese and didn't know what day
So the funniest part of it was though the cheese that we got is of course shelf stable, like it's because of how it's sealed, because we got to get it back from Europe, right? So it's all fine, and it's in this little wax, that really thick wax.
Yeah, and it's all vacuum packed. You got to do that to take it across customs.
So I'm trying to pack everything, and we had these slippers we got as a joke for our kids. They look like little wooden shoes, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to pack things, and the slippers are kind of large, but they're hollow like a shoe. There's a middle. There's where your foot should be. Yeah. So because I have all these things, I pack things in things.
Yeah, right.
And these are slippers. So I took the completely, totally wrapped.
The little cheese wheels fit right in there, yeah.
And they fit right in there, right? We were home for like one day, and they're shelf stable for like 10 days out of the fridge, right? They've been out for like a day. So I go to look at the fridge. I'm like, oh my gosh, where's the cheese? Where's all the cheese? And I'm thinking, we didn't leave the cheese did we leave the cheese in the hotel fridge? Because that would really stink. Where is the dang cheese? And then I'm like, wait, I didn't unpack those little slipper things that I stuffed the cheese into. And he has put them with the kids' Christmas presents.
Oh, they're hiding
in the closet, which are now hiding on a shelf in his closet. And the funny, I'm like, you didn't notice that these just soft felt slippers weighed like 8 pounds a piece because they're stuffed full of cheese.
Well, I knew there were things in there that were gifts. I didn't realize they were food products.
You look down into the one, and literally one perfectly, there is a round of Gouda cheese, just like Gouda.
But it's fine. It's shelf stable for like weeks. So
yes, but thankfully I realized it while it was still. I was like, what happened to all the cheese? I'm like, did he just? At least you didn't wrap them. Can you imagine?
Well, I would have caught it before I wrapped it.
You would have thought you would have caught it when they were too heavy. I'm not giving you that much credit.
I've loved all this cheese, though. I want to go back to Europe and buy more cheese.
I know the cheese is good.
Especially, oh my God, the cheese were so good.
Cheese what's funny and wine, but
Nicole's
really
like, well, let's just find a local cheesemonger. I'm like, really? That's a thing? And I Googled it. Not really. Like even in downtown Boston, there's cheese shops, but not like they have there. Like there just isn't. It's just not a thing.
We fail on the cheese front here.
We do.
And we lived in Vermont, where Cabot cheddar
I've been to Vermont's Cabot Cheese Factory.
Cabot.
But it's not the same. You get the little blocks, but you're not talking like whole wheels.
I know.
Of cheese.
They had this giant wheel, and the man takes out like a scythe practically, and like
all these different colors with different. I mean, like green cheese and pink cheese and
green cheese doesn't sound good because that makes you think
spinach.
It's moldy.
Or they have the red, which has the
herbs. They have lots
herbs.
Of herbs.
They have the red with
things.
the tomato in it, which is tomato. Who's heard of that? It was delicious. You don't really taste the tomatoes. It looks cool.
It's really good.
But yeah, we just don't do cheese. Maybe in Wisconsin. Like, let us know if you have a good cheesemonger near you.
Yeah, right.
I'm curious where the cheesemongers are because I don't feel like they're here.
Because we can't find them to get fancy European
I want to monger
cheese
some
in the
cheese.
U.S. That's my goal for the new year.
Yes.
My New Year's resolution: find fancy cheese in the United States.
Thanks for listening to The Road Reflected. To follow more of Nicole Wakeland's adventures, head on over to NicoleWakeland.com. There you'll find links to her social media from TikTok to Twitter, as well as her work across a wide range of media outlets. Until next time, keep it shiny side up.